Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another amazing show. This is Real Estate Uncensored. My name is Greg McDaniel. That's Alyssa Glutz from Color My Credit. And we have one heck of a returning guest. It's my own blood and flesh brother, Brad McDaniel, owner and founder of Likely.ai. He's got some incredible stuff today. We're going to talk about how to take a normal photo of a home that might need a lot of work, might not, but the better with the ones that might need a little bit of imagination for the future buyer, how we can change it with the prompts that he created to change the photos. Now, this is blowing my mind. We're talking pre-show, and it's going to blow your mind when you guys get done hearing this show. But before we get Brad in here, I want to bring in Miss Alyssa Glutz, a.k.a. Color My Credit. How are you, girl?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Glad to be here again. we're just living on this. This is great. I love it.
This is amazing. And, Brad blew us away. So you guys are going to get your socks knocked off. But before I keep talking, Mr. Brad McDaniel, the one and only. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for having me back, man. It's always good to come back and talk to your peeps. There's a lot evolving in the world of AI today. And, I think, if you're not that close to it, it kind of feels like a shiny object syndrome, if I can speak to that. Right? Yeah, where every single day or month there's you got Meta glasses, smart glasses coming out. You've got new model variant, baby, CD, X. Like what's better, what's good, and I'm sure everyone that watches this stuff, even if you read about it, and you kind of geek out on it, are still a little bit confused. So hopefully today we can kind of get through some of that haze, fog of war, whatever you want to call it, like the innovation cycle and prompt, to get to some really simple ways to think about how to implement AI, and then give you some kind of cool little tips and tricks at the end here to wow people.
I love it. I mean, we all know Alyssa has a wonderful boyfriend. His name is Chad GPT.
We're just celebrating right now. It was National Boyfriend Day yesterday. So anyway.
Nice. No wonder my girlfriend got me a present. I was wondering what was up. So Brad, what Alyssa just loves GPT, Chad, and it's really helped her in her business. But what you're going to bring to us today is going to be something I've never seen before that you built the prompt for, and I am astonished to see this. I want to see it work in real time. So I'm going to give you the floor, my friend. I know you want to demonstrate this, so I'm going to give you the ability to share, and let's dive deep into this.
Okay. Do you want me to kind of start to give you a little bit of the history of how we got here?
Yeah.
So without going and boring everybody to death, guys, we did a thought leadership piece on the kind of the evolution of AI in real estate. We did it in partnership with T360, the consulting firm. So they were deeply involved in everything we were doing right in this. So I highly recommend, we'll put a link in this thing, go download it, but it takes you through, think about it from 1.0 to 2.0 to 3.0, kind of where we are today, and gives you lots of details and, what worked for agents, what weren't working for agents or brokers, kind of at each one of those stages, and then even kind of gives you some visionary about what's next. But to skip through that, I think one of the most important things is just having a simple way to think about how to implement it today. So enjoy that kind of history lesson, which you can get. I've used something called the Spark framework. I've been working on this for the last month or so, and now I've been writing blogs in each one of these. And the Spark framework helps you.
Brad, for all of our listeners, make sure you walk through everybody, because some of them are just going to be listening. So you have a lot of great content here. I just want to make sure nobody misses out your content. That's all.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So that thought leader piece, it's about the evolution of AI for the real estate industry as a whole, and both the agent, the team, and the broker. But that still doesn't give you any tangible, tactical, what do I do today things, right? Mm-hmm. So the Spark framework, which you can find on our blog, I'll put a link to it, and it kind of links to all the subsections. It goes through, Spark is an acronym, so spot the opportunity, pick the appropriate model, assemble to the data to apply the modeling, ready the team, and then keep evolving, right? And so I'm going into a deeper dive on each one of those, which is way too deep for this conversation. But I highly recommend, if you are trying to figure out how to implement AI for your team or for your broker, start with kind of understanding the framework and start with spot the potential. Where should I apply AI? Where is there lift in my business? And where should I not? Right? Mm-hmm. That is the basis of it. Right. And then you can get into kind of what type of models to do. And hey, do we have the data gathered right? Or what other kind of data we can get into? That's a whole nother thing. So that's a fast way, Greg. I can kind of blow through this now and go to kind of demoing the prompts if you would like me to kind of jump to that point. Is that what you'd prefer?
Yeah, I mean, all of this information is incredibly, like I'm sitting here actually incredibly interested because I don't know how this goes. You and Alyssa are much more versed in this. So is there something, should we know more at this point, or do you want to jump into the problems?
I think the biggest challenge today when thinking about how to implement this is the two first things: spotting the potential, like where can I apply AI in my business for my agents, for my teams, right? Depending on where you are in the hierarchy, that actually gives value and not just something shiny. And then, once you kind of strategically wrap your head around that, I think that there's a whole lot of misunderstanding around the data required. And there is a kind of a tug of war because everyone's 1099. And so how do you get your agents to buy into sharing their data with you so you can build models for your brokerage for them that benefit them that not everyone else has? And so being able to think through, how do I get that data together? And then how do I present it in a way that my agents and teams will buy into it and be a value add and use it as a recruiting tool? I think there's a huge opportunity for brokers and team leaders to use it as a recruiting tool. They just have to be able to wrap their mind around and speak about it eloquently and clearly, and not make it feel like they're trying to steal the agent's data. Because I understand, Greg, you and I grew up. Dad was like, hey, my database is my business. I do all my business between 2 Starbucks and the Jazz, right? So I think there are some of those, industry challenges that people will have to get through, and I don't think we've solved them yet. So not to belay the point, like that is what I think the biggest challenges right now for implementing it from a top-down perspective are for the industry. And with that, I think everyone's probably had a chance to play with ChatGPT or Midjourney or Bard or Lambda 2 or one of the models, right? But how do you actually get something that's tangible outside of writing a blog or having, one of those little tools that give you like a baby little snippet? And it's like, oh, great, I got this, but it's not my brand voice. I have to do all this editing. Like, you basically are becoming an editor, right? You're no longer the copywriter, but you're an editor, which is great. That's a nice improvement. But I think we're almost at the end of that hype cycle. Everyone's kind of boring out. Everyone's read a gazillion posts about, hey, here are the next 6 prompts for blah, 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 right? And so how do we actually extract real value, something you can apply in your business today, remove either operational overhead, like duration to do something, or expense to do something, like right now? And so the first example I'm going to give you is how to take an ugly listing photo and turn it into something that is truly show worthy, something that can help you not just describe the vision of what is possible, but actually show someone what is possible with a listing photo. So what I'm showing you right now is I did this whole blog on it. So again, I gave away the prompts here, like steal them. Like I'm trying to, they say, use this stuff, guys. Like I'm not trying to hide it. Okay. So you can grab and use all of these prompts. Now in this example, I'm going to turn basically an ugly house into like a modern craftsman's home. Right. And I was actually doing a house and I did 3 versions of it. I used kind of the front yard, kind of the front, like how when you walk into the home, kind of see how it looks and feels. I used the backyard. So you can see this is the listing photo. And then how could you reimagine this backyard? Because it kind of looks a little beat up. Like, what do I do with this? And then I just picked a room. So I did a kitchen. I think I did even a different version where you can go from a listing photo to all these really awesome potentials. But some of them are like almost like that's a whole different home. Like, what the hell? Like, I can't use that, right? So there's ways to go from full extreme to something that's a little more within someone's budget, right? Depending on how much you need to sell the vision of what's possible, right? And so with that, I can kind of walk you through it. Here's another example. There's a living room, right? So with that, I'm going to walk you now through how to do this on the fly, okay? And I'm going to use basically these prompts, just putting in a different listing photo, okay?
Have you run into any questions in regards to disclosure issues? Tony B was bringing that up. Disclosures, making sure that the general public knows that is not the home, but it's a potential. What it could look like. Is that something that you guys have considered, or is that not even in the realm?
Well, I mean, of course. I mean that's a requirement of the practitioner to disclose. Hey guys, you're standing in front of the house today. This is what it could look like. This is what we envision this property having its, maximum potential value. You could do this. Yes, there's going to have to be some rehab to it, right? If you use these as the listing photo, yeah, you're bait and switching, and that's awful. You shouldn't do that. Like, absolutely
not. For that one.
100%. But if you're selling it, it's your way of showing this is what it is and this is what it could be, and helping the consumer visualize. Not all of us are good at that. You're using your gift to help them. I think that's amazing.
And you can do this now. Like, before, you had to go do it and hire an architect or a draw, or you had to do like multiple steps. Could take a week or two to do, probably cost you a couple hundred to a couple thousand, depending on what you're having done. And then you put that inside of the brochure in the back going, hey, this is what it could be. This is what we think could be. Here are architecture drawings, all of that. You can now do it in 30 seconds. I mean, maybe take an hour of your life, right? I'll show you here. It takes a couple of minutes. It took a while to figure out how to do it. But now that I figured it out, hey guys, share it with the world. Hope everyone gets value from it. Right. So
Debbie was asking whether it's budget friendly. Can it be budget friendly?
Absolutely. I mean, if you have access to a listing portal, so we're going to use Redfin today. That's free. And you have access to either ChatGPT or Likely AI's refresh engine. We have an integration. I'm going to use that for the demo. And then I use Midjourney. It's a little bit techie. They kind of get in and set it all up. We got a blog on how to do it to make it like Homer Simpson proof. But I think what we're seeing with DALL-E 3 being integrated with ChatGPT, if you have that subscription, pretty soon you'll be able to use these prompts there. It can't today. I've tried. It can't actually pull the listing photo in, but Midjourney can. Right. So I'm going to use Midjourney. So the tools are simple. Find a listing portal of your choice. I'm going to use Redfin. You probably could use Zillow as well. Then you're going to have a ChatGPT in UI. So I'm going to use our refresh engine. We have a 14-day free trial, or you can use ChatGPT. And then Midjourney, which has a free version, and they have paid versions, right? And you don't need the paid version to do this, but there you go. So yes, it is budget friendly. That's a long-winded way. Probably you rolling your eyes at me on the other side of the screen, but
you got to try yours though. You have a 14-day free trial time.
14-day free trial, 2,000 contacts. We give you the full refresh engine, a treatment, plus you get all of this ChatGPT interaction and engineered prompts ready to go for you. Okay. Jeez. So with that, Greg, you want me to just pick up? I mean, I was looking over here just in kind of the California neck of the woods, and this house right here kind of popped up because it's ugly. It looks beat up. So, I mean, I put in literally fixer as a keyword term, or, TLC. You guys all probably had a listing that needed some love. Use one of those words that you guys use to describe it in a way that you know how to describe it, and you're going to find one, right? So I'm going to just right click on it and open it up in a new tab. And then you can start looking through the photos. Let's do one probably of the front. It looks like they don't even have any pictures of it.
So just back it up for the technically, not inclined here. I'm talking about myself. Okay. Are you telling me that you're going to just grab this, drop it into chat or something, use your prompt, and it's going to change that photo? Is that what you're telling me?
Exactly what I'm telling you.
Holy sheep shit. All right, keep going.
You don't even have to imagine it. You don't even have to imagine. Okay.
Don't have to imagine it anymore, guys.
This is
not imagine it at all.
This is perfect for every single buyer when we work with buyers, that when they walk into the house, oh my God, I really don't like that yellow paint. All right, bitch. All right, bitch. Here's the house in white. You like it now? Fucking buy it. Yeah, it's okay. I can't do it. No, stop it. Take me somewhere pretty.
Funny you did that. I was gonna do sweater weather today because it's kind of sweater weather, Okay, back to you.
Okay, so this is how you do it, guys. It's once you find a property that you like, right? Sweater weather. So we're gonna do the front, and maybe we'll do a kitchen as well, just to kind of have some fun. Once you have a photo you like, you right click, and you say open image in new tab. What that does is it gives you a URL for where this image is. You need that URL. So we're saying, hey, here's the picture, basically. Simple as that. Right click, open in a new tab. Okay. Now, you can do two things here. I would recommend that you want to train ChatGPT on what Midjourney knows as a prompt. So this is all the aspect ratio, chaos, image weight, and this is the formula we're telling it to use. So this is the stuff you don't have to do. All you have to do is hit this copy button, okay? But I'm going to explain it to you just so you know what's in here. I'm basically saying, hey, ChatGPT, this is what Midjourney likes to make really cool stuff, right? And we want this to be really cool. So do this. And then down here at the bottom, I have in blue. In this case, I'm saying I want 10 mid-journey prompts about remodeling into, I think I used a modern craftsman style design, right? And you can, in this blue area, you can write whatever you want. If you want it to be a colonial or whatever it is, go for it. Have fun with it, right? So if you need,
you could put specifics in there. Like if I wanted a slide coming from my bedroom down to the pool.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, what I'd probably recommend is first have it generate these 10 prompts for you, and then do that, then customize it, right? So from here, I would come over to our likely.ai account, which is my.likely.ai. We'll put a link so you can get a free 14-day trial. And then we have a couple of engineered prompts in here, and there's a whole bunch more almost about ready to drop. But you just click start a new chat. You've all done this before. And now you literally just paste in that giant prompt that we just looked at is all now right here. So when I hit submit, you can see it's a giant thing. All I do is hit copy on that blog, right? And right now it is learning what Midjourney wants as far as for how to make pictures that look awesome. It's as simple as that. Now, once this is done, it's going to give you 10 options to use while it's going, just to kind of keep everyone in the loop. I'm going to come back to the blog page and just use one that I already had generated. One I think was down here, right? When we look at the front of the house. Okay. So I actually gave you the prompt that I picked. So you tell GPT what to do. It writes 10 Midjourney prompts. You take one of those and put it in Midjourney, right? And in this case, I'm going to take this one. I'm just going to replace this URL with the photo that we just had. And this is for the front of the house. It's saying use a DSLR camera and yada, 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 right? So we come over here, we drop it in, and I made it so you can just copy and paste, and it knows it's an image prompt. And then we're going to replace that URL with this photo. So this is the photo that we want to use, right? That we already put in there. So it's really, really simple. And then I'm just going to replace it, right?
Okay. So
now, if I do this, it's probably not going to look exactly like it. So we're going to do this, and then I'm going to do a second version of it, right? So it takes probably 30 seconds. It's going to start thinking. It's imagining what it could look like. That's whole Midjourney's kind of stick, right?
So Midjourney does cost money, though, right?
There's a free version of it, and there's a paid version of it. So you start using it. I think I have the $10 a month version. I get it.
And Midjourney is, just so people know, it's another version of ChatGPT.
No, it's totally separate. It's a totally different model structure. So ChatGPT is a large language model, and what Midjourney and DALL-E 3 and those are around image, not text. So large language model are text-based models, right? Now it uses some similar type of logic. It's all deep learning, but it's very different. 100% different. That's why when you hear people go multimodal, and you're kind of going, who the hell cares? What do you mean by multimodal, right? You probably heard like Google's CEO talk about it on stage, and geeks are going, yay, and everyone else is like, I don't get it. Well, multimodal means that one model can do both text and image and video and music and voice and everything else.
That's awesome.
All work together. It's multimodal, right?
I'm sorry, that's just straight.
Sounds a lot like credit score models. I just want to tell you, throw that in there right now. This sounds a lot like me trying to explain what a credit score does. Yeah. Okay.
So that is the initial rendition of this listing photo.
Wait. Show me the after.
You got to be shitting me.
What?
Of what it could look like. Now it doesn't look exactly the same. So this is when you can do one little thing to make it even better.
The ideas, yeah.
Right. But see how fast it worked? We trained it to think like they want it to think. Right. So we can do another version of this. And this time we're going to add another parameter on here. And it's called image weight, IW. Right. And one is kind of nothing. And two means use that image that I seeded. That's what they call it, seeding. When you use a URL. So that image I gave you, do I want it to look exactly like that or not at all like that? Right. So if we want it to look more like that, kind of use more of that image in it, you can get closer to 2. So let's use 1.5. Right. And now this iteration will look more similar to the original photo you uploaded. Right. So either you can say, hey, imagine whatever you want, but use this photo to start, or use this photo to start and make it more like that photo. Right. When you use image weight.
So just curiosity, this you can use it on more than just homes. I mean, if you're single and you wanted to add a dating photo, to your dating profiles, or if you wanted to do a photo with your dead cats, I can go grab some old
Where are you
images of
going to
them.
take cats? I don't know.
Dude, what?
I'm just
Maybe go to a
weird shit.
taxidermist, dude.
Brad, to piggyback on
Oh
him
my
though,
God.
which is
Thank
probably
you.
not piggyback. It's probably like a whole different pack. But you know, you seem so smart. I'm just going to come from the kind of a I don't know point of view, but can't you just make it to where we have a real pretty app that I just open up and I hit upload picture, and then all of what you just talked about, we just go do it, and then pew, pew, and then again and does it, because this is a lot of
Yeah, there's
we
three
might have
steps
lost
to
you.
this, and you're right. Yeah, and then we will build that. Basically, I just wanted to see if I could do it first and how good
Yeah.
it was before we went. And so it's called sneaker
So this
knitting.
will be coming out. In other words,
Oh yeah,
like,
we'll build this, and we'll build this in for everybody,
I can
right?
take
So
it
like think of in the world of evolution and technology, like there's sneaker knitting where you kind of do it by you take your sneakers and you walk over here and do it, and then over here it's like just a term, right? And then once you figure out that, oh, hey, that's what the industry wants, using the lean startup approach, you build it so it's automated. It's super easy to do, and you just go. But for that kind of that early adopter in the curve of like the evolution cycle, like this is perfect for an early adopter, right?
Awesome.
So the photo now, this is the second iteration. Now we said basically make it look more like that initial listing photo. So I see that the trees, the angle looks more similar. And so you can see it goes from that to this, right?
Wow.
So this is what you could put on that property and make it like really appealing. Now you can do this with a kitchen. You can do this with a backyard. You can do it with a den, a front yard, make it a play state, an awesome pool. Like Greg, I even did this to mom and dad's property just to see if I could make the backyard look awesome. And like, I don't know, it's somewhere in here, but like it came back with like all these like really cool iterations of what the house could, what the backyard could look like. So
you have to do this for me. You have, it just epiphany in my head was like, oh, he's the one that could do this. My backyard, I'm about a third acre. I need some help, man. I need some help.
So Brad, we're having one pushback from Tony here. He says he's not convinced. You have to add a stripper pole in the kitchen just for proof of product. So thank you, Tony.
You know what?
Okay, let's do it. Let's put a stripper pole in somewhere.
Now listen, Brad.
Which one do we want it in the kitchen?
He wants it in the kitchen.
Okay, so let's put it in the kitchen.
But you guys, I don't know if you've seen some of the computerized versions of, especially in LA, where you see this listing and it looks like a house, but you're like, wow, that's an amazing looking house for that price. And you realize it's digitally created and a whole thing. These houses, I love the fact that they look so real. There's nothing really like, it really helps you put yourself there, you know?
Good point. I'm staring at the photos, ladies and gentlemen, who are just listening. And if you're not watching me, I'm sticking my face next to the screen, trying to see how clear they are. And there's mom and dad's house. Okay. And I'll tell you one thing, these photos look insanely real. Like, I mean, this can probably solve a ton of problems for all of us buyers agents. We got looking for the buyer and they're like, well, we just don't see the potential. You're like, give me 4 minutes. Go sit in the car and talk or whatever. 4 minutes. Pull this up, rip it out, show them like this is what it potentially could look like. Oh my God.
Think about it. If all your buyers had to do was focus on location and maybe the format, like maybe the layout of the house. And other than that, new appliances with Alyssa's appliance loan and a whole new backyard and a whole, you can make anything you want. Any resale property you can turn into a new build with more options practically. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And you really are having to compete with those new builds,
And they do put guardrails here, right? So they basically, I put the word stripper in here and it said, sorry, we can't do that.
You can't be a stripper.
So it's like, it tries to keep the adult content. So I just changed it to dancing pool. So let's find out what that actually means. Okay. So
why am I trying to think of synonyms for stripper pole? How did I get here?
I don't know. Dancing or something. And so Gary, I'm going to scroll up here while that's generating. And we're using for that new version picture, we're using this one as the kitchen. Okay.
Okay. Fireman
pole. And then so scrolling up here, that was probably one of theirs. I don't know. Let's see this. That's the image we use. Yeah. So that's mom and dad's backyard, right?
So the guys, this is the backyard my brother and I grew up in.
And so here's other versions of how that backyard could be laid out, right? As a craftsman style.
What does it really look like? Does it show?
Yeah, so you can click on the link. So here's I think another version of it. So this is that link to that photo. So that's the backyard.
That's the real backyard.
Wow, that's beautiful. But you can make
my mom geeks out on keeping everything look awesome. Like she does such a good job.
Mom does a good job, man. That's killer.
But if you wanted to say, hey, this is a beautiful home, but what else could I do with it? Because I've got $2 extra million in my pocket to redo the entire backyard, even though it's already beautiful. Like you can give those options to buyers that are high-end buyers, right? You can.
Have you thought about a stripper bowl? I mean, come on.
I mean, why not? I mean, I guess that's the thing. I never thought of putting that in there, but I mean, sure.
I love Tony.
And so, I mean, you can see I've been geeking out, trying to try bunch of different things. But that's the one. Now let's go down to
Brad. Where to really see what you're doing here? The power is insane. You go into a presentation. We always do a 2-step listing presentation, and people always ask, well, what should we do to the house? What should we upgrade? What should we get ready for the market? And you say, well, let me show you what it could look like, so we can show the buyers what it may look like, so you don't have to spend as much or any money on a remodel. They can buy the concept, not the reality, because everybody's going to want, drawers in different places, different colors, different knobs, different, finishes. This is a game changer for wowing the crap out of your sellers and buyers.
Yeah. I mean, you print these off, guys. I mean, you print them off, you stick them inside of your listing photo, like your listing packet. Like, so if you have like an assistant, or maybe you drive by the house and snap a picture on your iPhone, right? If it's kind of a little bit more beat up before the listing presentation, go back and do that with it. Cause all you need is a URL for it. And you can just drag and drop in this little plus button. You can just upload an image and it gives you here. So it doesn't have to be from, a listing. And boom, you can walk to a listing presentation. Like here are 6 different designs for the front of your house or back of your house or whatever it is, and watch them go, holy crap. And then if you really want to blow them away from there, as this continues to render, is I would say, come back over here and run our buyer persona prompt, which also gives you then targeting description. So let's just use mom and dad. Tell them again, Greg.
Oh, well, fuck it. Let's do it.
Well, I mean, why not? Since we're already down that rabbit hole. So this is inside of our platform. The buyer persona, what it does is it pulls back and the property does the full analysis on it, gives you the likely seller if it's distressed, all the information about it, the owner, everything. And then while it's doing this, you can see it says loading. So right now it's loading. It's writing a buyer persona. Who's the most likely person to buy this? Where should I market? What should I say to them? What are the ads? The whole thing. So the people that are likely to buy this, 35 to 50, they're making 150 to 250, college educated. Their interests are hiking, home, travel. Their pain points: lack of time, difficulty in service providers. They don't work well with them, I guess. Their desire is a well-maintained, strong sense of community, quality schools. Like it tells you who's going to buy this home. And then I say, okay, well, where's the buyer coming from? So I have it list zip codes that are contiguous to wherever that home's located. And so that way, then when you go to the Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, these are the targeting for your ads. So you want to target 35 to 55 and these zip codes using these keywords. And when you push your ads to find buyers for that home, you take this, you print this off and go, guys, this is exactly what I'm going to do to find a buyer for your home tomorrow. And we're going to show them what it could look like after a remodel like this. And they're going to be like, all right, so you know what you're doing. And everyone else's listing presentation came in and gave me a CMA and told me how awesome their team is. Like, you showed me how you're going to sell my home for the top maximum value and attract buyers from where they are today. Boom. Now, even take it one step further, dude. We have all the likely seller scores in our platform. So you can say, hey, I want to target everyone within those zip codes that are likely sellers and push ads to them as a custom audience on Facebook. And now you just basically the triple tap and they're done. Like you got them. So it is an ultimate listing tool. I think that AI is moving fast. Now, people can still say, that's awesome, Brad, but I've got a problem right now. Like, I have a problem that I can't solve right now. I don't know how I'm going to keep making money as an agent. Well, I got a trick for that too, right? Here's another problem-solving prompt. If you need a creative solution, All you have to do is fill in, write out whatever your problem is. So I pre-wrote this, right? This is how do you make money today in a historically down market, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then so you can rewrite whatever you want to fill in here. And these are on our site as well, right? Just grab this. Now, do you want to use this one, or do you want to use agent adoption? Or
well, that one, we like that one. We like that one.
We're
Like
both
this
like,
one?
no,
Okay.
stay there.
We like that. I think that's good.
Okay, so
I think that's a lot of people's question right now.
right? How do I keep making money, man? The
how do I keep it going?
It's tight. It's historically low. Macro market conditions aren't changing. Like, how the hell do I stay in business? What are some creative solutions for it?
Right.
And so what we're telling it to be right now, so telling ChatGPT to be the best problem solver in the world.
Yep.
Here's my problem. Now use creative solutions to come up with 3 alternatives, score each one of those alternatives for the probability of success and explain why. And then for the one that's best, write a pitch, basically an elevator pitch about why I should go talk to my business partner. Use that pitch to go, hey, business partner, this is what I think we should do, right? So let's see. First one is collaborate with local builders and developers in new housing projects. Tells you why. Okay, 80% probability of success, and this is the reason why it thinks it's 80. Diversity of solutions by offering property management and leasing. Okay, so basically going to ancillaries. These are the 4 steps to get started. Summary of it: 70% probability. Leveraging technology to attract and engage prospective buyers. Right. So here's what you should do. Here's the probability of it. 90%, and then here's the pitch to your business partner for why you should use that winning solution.
Dear business partner, I have identified a highly effective solution to address the challenges we face in the current real estate.
Brad,
by leveraging technology, we can attract and engage prospective buyers through
that's
virtual
amazing.
tours, online marketing, and digital communication.
Shut up. No.
This innovative approach has a success probability of 90% and will allow us to overcome the limitations of limited inventory and high interest rates. With virtual tours and personalized recommendations, we can showcase
and. So you can solve any problem, and you get all these iterations of it. So these are just some of the things that I work on, because all I want to do is help the real estate industry. And I see that there's major challenges with understanding what AI is, how to adopt it to my brokerage or team, and then what the capabilities of current solutions are, right? And so I'm trying to show you the from the strategic of how do we get here? Well, how do I think about implementing this to my real estate industry, my real estate team or brokerage? And then what are some things I can kind of take to my tactical things. I can either go and solve a listing I'm working on right now. Maybe it's a little beat up, and maybe I have a problem with agent recruiting or agent adoption of my CRM, or how do I help homeowners that have a 3% mortgage think about taking an 8% mortgage because they want to move. So how do I unlock that capacity or inventory by doing a win-win for them? Like, you have to explain it, and I don't think anyone can do a very good job of it today. And so some of these engineered prompts can help get them there.
Brad, I think it's like I got to say to you that the thing about ChatGPT that's nice is that it almost gave me like an interview of what's Color My Credit and what's it all about, and asked me some questions as far as like to get to the core of what my core values are as a company. What am I trying to achieve, right? And if you can feed it that information, it's interesting how every single time I bring a problem or I bring an idea to develop, it comes from the core of Color My Credit. It comes from the same set of eyeglasses on every single situation. It always brings it back to, well, considering the fact that you've been a mortgage loan officer and you're the author of Color My Credit, this is how you would benefit this person. Because I've said before, should I try to meet these 5 people? One of them was a guy I wanted to date. The other 4 were serious, like business partners. I was like, should I date these people? And I'm just kidding.
She's not kidding.
I'm not joking. Only because the one person was kind of famous, so I knew that I could tell it the person's name and that they would know. And they were like, yeah, you guys are perfect together. I'm like, I know Tom Cruise. Okay. But anyway, the 4 others were partners, business partners that I thought, how could I bring any kind of benefit to this little lady who has a bakery? And it, pulls out all the ideas that connect with Color My Credit, with cakes, you know what I mean? With credit cake. I mean, like it can develop. You can even say, I'm just kind of thinking tomatoes, mustard, and pickles. Help me develop that idea. And it'll come back and go, you can make a tomato sandwich. You can make a this, you can make that. You know what I mean? It's almost like that kind of an idea, not really mustard and tomatoes and stuff, but you could just say, I'm kind of scratching on something. And how do I develop this idea? It's amazing what it pours out. If you're like that, if you just have like a piece of an idea, but you don't know where you're going with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. A piece of an idea. And so, Greg, I think you asked for some of these links. So I'm going to send them to you so you can share them on the show.
Yeah, and I'm getting text messages from a couple of viewers. They're asking, is there any discount codes after the 14 days that are available, or is it a 14-day free trial? And then if you like it, you jump in and you utilize it and use it as a tool in your business.
So we give you two options. You know, if you really aren't sure about it, take the 14-day free trial. Right? Put your big toe in the water. There you go. If you want to just get started, we give you 50% off for the first 2 months. Since Greg, I'm on your show, so you can take one or the other. You can't stack them. So if you just want to get started and get 50% off for the first 2 months, then hey, we welcome you to that as well. I mean, it's buy one get one free, basically, right? So, like, how can we make this easy to explain, to utilize, to adopt is the whole point. So to do that 50% off one, Greg, I'll send you that.
How much does this run? Like, is it expensive if you do?
No, we priced it at $89 a month. I mean, basically, we have a lot of expense with servers and data and enrichment. So what you get with this, ChatGPT, yes, everything we've talked about is the wow and all that kind of stuff. But the core of our business is predicting likely sellers. Are you distressed? That's what we've been working on for 4 years. And so what our platform, the Refresh Engine, does 4 things. One, it drop in 2,000 contacts, ask for a geo farm that, hey, these are my parameters if I don't have a database of 2,000 people, right? Or mix them together. Maybe you got 1,000 people and you want to take a market area of 1,000. Great, put them all in there, right? Then what we do is 4 things. We enrich your contacts. So we add property addresses, names, address history, basically everything I was showing you like on the side panel there, likely seller distress, whatnot. Then we start to predict, are there likely sellers, distressed, whatnot. Then we monitor all of those elements around. Now we know who the person is and the property for anything that changes. So you don't have to be a data geek and going down to data mine or highest 10 ISAs. And we push those notifications to you, and you can use automations to send them to your marketing team or whatnot. If you have Follow Up Boss, we have a full integration with Follow Up Boss, and it actually plays. It'll trigger your automations there and your workflows. And we've actually given on our page, I'll give you another link, Greg. Like we've written out these automations and workflows, so that way, literally say, yeah, use that one, and then whenever that changes from our system pushing, it just triggers that workflow for you. It's pretty cool. And the final thing is marketing AI, which is what we talked about here, which is basically take all this context-rich data around a person and property, and rather than use generic prompts that you're used to, all of our prompts use all of that data that's behind that address of that person in order to write awesome listing emails, listing descriptions. I want to buy your home, buyer personas, and. So you don't have to do all the data geek stuff.
I'm just going to cut you off right here.
Okay.
The value, and guys, I didn't know anything about this prior to this show. I had literally no clue what was going to come talk about. For $89, and I don't make a damn dime, guys. I'm pushing this up because I don't make a damn dime. I'm going to pay him $89 as my own brother to use this, because I'll tell you one thing. The value in that one page, when you got to know exactly who the buyers are, where they're coming from, what they do, what they like, you walk in with that knowledge, you will blow the socks off your competition, and it's $89. So let's say you go on 4 listing appointments, 5 listing appointments a month. If you can't close them, it's not because of the data. I'm not trying to be rude here. It's because we got to work on your closing techniques. This will put you above your competition. This is something that is so sexy. It's like a stripper pole in the kitchen. It's sexy. Okay.
It's so great. I love it. We got to come up with a different name for it.
And poles, why not? I mean,
fireman pole. But then there's jokes
look at
on
the other
that.
things.
It's
amazing. Love this. I'm blown away here right now. I don't think I knew what I was getting myself into today. It's great.
And I tried not to sell our product. I want to start with delivering so much value in everything else we do. And if you like all that, yeah, we have a solution that can help. But you can also do it using just ChatGPT or just Midjourney. You just have to do more work. I'm giving you the prompts. I'm giving you the stuff to do. It just takes time. Okay. So go one way or the other. And if you find value in not having to update your contacts or know if they're likely sellers or if they're distressed or have data-driven marketing touches based upon change events, yeah, then great. $89 is the cheapest we can possibly. Guys, we don't make much money on that. The first couple of months, right? And then if you grow your database, it's just $49 for each additional 1,000 contacts, right, on a monthly basis. So it scales up. If you have a big business, it's perfect. If you're an individual agent, it plays well with CRM, so you don't have to learn a whole nother platform if you don't want to. If you don't have a CRM, hey, then we have a full web app for you too.
And so you're just growing and growing. Every day you're adding new features and new things to people that they get in on before anybody else. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love everything about AI. So I know we talked about our solution, but I wanted to really lead with, I think, a lot of things that can be beneficial for the industry. And that's where I usually sit and talk the most. We have a ton of playbooks that are free, guys. I'm just going to put a bunch of links, Greg, for you. You can just share whatever you want. But if you guys want the free playbooks, you might get a call from an ISA, but it's not, we're not charging you money for anything. If you want the white label, the thought leader piece we do at T360, again, it's free. Grab it, use it, guys. It's about how, real estate AI.
So Janet has a question for you. You talked about agent adoption. Do you have any use cases for vendors that sell to agents or offices? And she's asking for a friend. Thank you, Janet.
For a friend. Yeah, so that would be a great another problem that we just write up. So I wrote one up because I was thinking about, I come from the world of Market Leader and Trulia, and I know that every time we sold a big implementation, say Keller Williams, even though we gave it away for free to everybody, only about 5% of the agents that took the free version logged in as a monthly active user, right? And so there's this big gap on, even if you give tech to an agent base, they don't always use it. No. So I wanted to say, hey, what are creative solutions to get my agents to adopt CRM X that I've used, that I'm going to give to them? And so it lists out a bunch of creative solutions that you could use. So yes, if I'm going to run it, I can show you that one.
So basically what we're hearing is there's no real limitation in regards to what you can turn these different prompts into for whatever you would like. Do some of your own research, use the base of these prompts, but then tweak it for your own, what you're really looking for in your business. Like you said in the very beginning of the conversation. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it is. I mean, literally that problem solving prompt, I have to do a blog on this so that way I can give them to you guys for free. Actually, no, it is in our ChatGPT 3 playbook. I put it in there, so you can just download that playbook, and that's one of those prompts. Also has one about how to trick other AIs not to know that it's written by AI. That's a big problem. You need to use burstiness and perplexity in your writing style. In ChatGPT, it just gives you the probability of the most likely word based upon the probability percentage. So it's very non-burstiness. That's we as humans write with like some of long sentences, short sentences, some are perplexed and not perplexed, and GPT doesn't do that. So if you don't put that prompt in, if you're writing like a blog or an SEO article you want, it will get flagged. And I have a whole blog on it. You can find it on there. And I give you an example of 3 versions that I wrote. And once I put that extra piece onto it, it was 100% human written by an AI detection tool. Right. So if you want to get that SEO boost and not be hard, that whole like everything sounds the same to everyone else writing stuff. Excuse me, I was about to discuss. Use that. But yeah, great. Think of problem solving. So problem solving is a big area, right? You tell us what the problem is, and then it will be the best creative solutioner and give you 3 options. And sometimes I'll grab that and I'll grab like the winning solution and run it through again and run it through again and run it through again. So then I have 3 winning solutions. Okay, now compare these to each other.
Right.
And then now you've got even a better, gauge to make a decision.
I was doing that last night over and over. Give me 10 options. Okay. Now give me 10 options based on that one.
Yeah. And if you word those right, because you're right, you have to like remember and copy and paste these prompts in. Otherwise, it kind of goes off and starts to hallucinate. And before you know it, you're talking about like how to best to buy roses rather than, what the interest rates are for, jumbo loan. Yeah. It's like, wait, how did we get over to that? Like, what?
It is nuts. I'm like, Chad.
Yeah. Come on, boyfriend, listen to me.
So you guys must be great friends. Yeah, you are just like Chad. I'm kind of attracted to you. I'm just kidding.
Uh-oh.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
Uh-oh.
Greg. Sorry. But
I'm in trouble now.
I'm used to it. I don't think I'll ever be able to date anybody again who's not like brainy like that. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. But no, the thing about this, and Alyssa, you and I have talked about it, and Brad, I want to get your input. Alyssa, you're spending a couple of shekels every month for the paid version of Chat GPT, which has been very beneficial for you. I think it's like $20 or something.
Yeah.
We're not talking about an astronomical amount of money. So if you guys put both of these together, you're about $100, $110 somewhere in there, give or take. And imagine the power for that money. Oh, by the way, you can account for that money by just stopping drinking Starbucks.
Yeah.
Just a little hint.
It does. It is. I will tell you, there's a little, I don't know if anybody else has ever gone through this, but there's a moment when you've created, I wrote on Monday with the help, with chat assisting. I wrote 7 webinars, did all the graphics, like the videos, the whole like question answer, like literally wrote out every job responsibility I would need for this webinar series. Like it was like all done within, I don't know, 45 minutes. And I sat there looking at it going, I feel bad about this because
why?
This would take me a week to do all this. And now like, because I'm one of those people that still freaks out about success. Like, I'm like, oh, I don't want it. You know what I mean? Like, so I get freaked out because the power in your hands, once you realize something you just created in 45 minutes is like,
it's real.
I could write a book in an hour. That panics me,
Why?
I don't know. Cause that's my own problem.
That's ridiculous. You shush your mouth when you talk to me.
All kinds of stuff. I don't know.
Gosh.
But I do think it's a weird, I don't know, maybe it's not weird for anybody else, but there's a weird dynamic with how quickly the information comes out and you're just like, well, done. Okay, I'm done for the day. This is weird. You know what I mean? But then you can't. You got to take it and then keep working and then add it to your work, make you even better. Yeah.
I find like I was spending a lot of time writing prompts.
Yeah.
And I mean a lot of time writing prompts. And that is like the equivalent of what if I was writing. But I think something you said is interesting. And full disclosure, I'm dyslexic, right? And Greg, you might know, I don't point that way. He's dyslexic, right? And so one of the biggest hurdles for people like us that have something to say or articulate, but it takes us a long time to actually put that on paper, is to leverage prompting in a way, and what will LLMs and whatnot actually do for that cohort of the population base, right?
Right.
Like how much productivity is being unlocked by this? People are worried about getting laid off. Some might. Others, heard it 1,000 times. I'm just going to now use this and be a super worker, right? But like I kind of geeked out on that a little bit just because of our unique situation. And Greg, I've seen you've been writing like stuff, and you do your listing, your video descriptions, like you're able to like articulate more. I'm like, man, like what does that actually mean for the population base, right? Like, and so I had a little fun with it. It's like, okay, how many people in the U.S. have dyslexia? Right. Yeah. And it says about 40 million people have it, 2 million that are diagnosed with it. Wow. I'm like, that's a lot more than I thought. But
that's a lot. Yeah.
Maybe that's why, Adderall and whatnot are selling through the roofs, and farming companies are so stoked. But
visual, think about even just TikTok or whatever, how much more of us are visual. I can try to explain something for 10 hours. I can send a 30-second video that I put to Jay-Z.
Boom.
And they're like, I got it.
Done. I can put it to Jay-Z. I love it.
99 problems, but a video in one. Yeah. Yeah.
And so like, you take someone that maybe doesn't have a college education or isn't articulate and maybe is dyslexic, right?
Yeah.
And say, what is like the average, white collar salary in 2022 was, $76,000, right? And so if you're getting someone up to that, well, you have to take that's the whole country. That's the median, right? So
dude, I can't even run my household on under $80,000.
Well, there you go.
Just household.
Right. So how do you get more people out of that? Hey, I want $20 an hour. Like you hear all this, like kind of like everyone's going on strike today because they want more pay. It's like, well, actually, for everyone that we're unlocking and giving this voice to, if you just brought those 2 million people, let's just say none of them are white collar workers today, right? Like just those 2 million people making $76,000 a year, that's about $152 billion in value that's been created, right? Annually, right?
Wow.
So I mean, there's there's gonna be both sides of this as it
Right.
plays out. And I'm getting into things past real estate, but just think about how it's not all gloom and doom. There's a lot of upside. And I've said this 1,000 times, but data has set the stage, right? AI is going to steal the show, right? And so going forward, data set the stage, AI is stealing the show. Learn how to use it, learn how to aggregate your data together so that way you can actually benefit from this AI wave, evolution, hype cycle, whatever you want to call it. And I guarantee you, whether you're in real estate, lending, in a wholesaler, a mortgage processor, or an appraiser, right? I mean, all of them, you know, especially, I'm not even going to go into meta glasses. Greg, I would geek out for another 30 minutes with you. There's all these cool use cases. Yeah, dude. I mean,
I could do it.
I could go deep on that rabbit hole.
Yeah, right. I mean, think about it. You're walking around, you can see plot lines, you can see the appliance code and get a rating for it. So when you're walking through an open house, you can see how good the stuff is in the house. You can see how durable materials are. I mean, all of it. Like it's
All
just
of
like
it's gonna be.
I'm legitimately, when those actually come out, I'm legitimately thinking about putting prescription lenses in those and using those on a consistent basis, because like you said, now you have the internet in your face. When you can take phone calls, you can do everything through it. What I'd really like to see those glasses do for all of us who are name retarded, and I say retarded because I'm dyslexic and I can say it, so shut the fuck up. It's like when I see you and I'm walking through Safeway or supermarket and I see Alyssa, and I'm like, oh God, what's your name? He goes, Alyssa Glutz. I'm like, Alyssa.
Oh,
so it has eyes. It runs Lambda 2 models. So the question is can you load it with your contact database, which I'm going to say if it's probably in your Facebook world because it's Lambda, then they already have face recognition and it'll probably be able to tell you in your ear and say, oh yeah, that's Alyssa.
So basically every single cop and FBI and every CIA dude and dudette are going to be rocking these shades because they walk around like criminal, bank robber, auto theft, rapist. Gotcha, bitch.
I don't know. You just put a RoboCop on me. I mean, I'm sure there's probably a different version, but yeah, there probably is. I mean, every time that Facebook does, hey, what do you look like 10 years ago? And what do you look like today? They're not, they did that socially, virally for the FBI so they can get a composite of what you look like now and then use that to train models to say, what do people young today look like in the future? I mean, it's all a game, a data game. Data set the stage. AI is going to steal the show, guys. So, I mean, it's pretty cool.
We are at 11:10.
Yeah, wrap it up. Yeah.
Shit, I want to keep going. Brad, you're coming.
You guys can keep going, and I can slip out if you want. Okay.
No, hey, let's do another one, man. We'll come back so that way we don't push too much stuff. Because right now I feel like I'm going to go into the world of where you have that meeting and it's really great. Everyone's happy, but then you walk out of the meeting like, well, what the hell do I do now?
What did I just?
We talked about too many things in once, right? I don't want to have one of those.
Okay, so let's leave it like this real quickly. If you guys are just joining us or got us halfway through or something like that, I implore you to go back and watch from the beginning. You will sit there and your jaw will drop when you see what Brad presented. And if you guys are listening to this and you see the video, go to my Facebook or go to our YouTube channel. If the title is going to be AI Revolution in Real Estate from Basics to Brilliance, you have to see what he put on the screen, boys and girls. I'm not messing with you. I've never said that before. I am telling you, you have to go see this and listen to it again. Your bottom line, your spouse and your kids' college funds will thank you from listening to this show. Brad,
use the problem-solving prompt if you have a problem with your spouse. How to solve something.
Yeah, it's called Buy Her Flowers. Stop being a jerk.
Yeah,
that's a good start.
Brad, so where can people go get either the 14-day free trial and or the free? You can't stack one or the other. Pay 50% off on the first 2 months and get the prompt book and get everything else. Where can they get it today?
Go to likely.ai. Everything's on likely.ai. You can go to likely.ai/playbooks to get the playbooks. And there's like, I don't know, we've got cheat sheets and playbooks. We didn't even talk about another new one we're pushing out this week. But I mean, there's a lot of value there, either by marketing channels, so calling, texting, emailing, multi-channel. If you want just the ChatGPT playbooks, if you want a formula for Mid-Journey and ChatGPT, I mean, we got it all there, right? And then in the footer of our site, there's a link to get the thought leader piece about kind of the evolution. Greg, I've sent you some of these links.
Yeah,
basically click around, guys. I mean, there's a bunch on that site, and everywhere you're going to see on there is start a free trial, because we want people to adopt this. Like
Right.
it is like we want people to adopt it. And if you want to just try it without even doing anything, you can go to my.likely.ai/KELY, right? And Kelly's like our little acronym. And you literally can just put an address in and it'll just run it for you. You don't have to do anything. And if after a couple, it'll ask you, hey, start a trial, right? But you get to try it for free. That would be my recommendation to kind of get going. Our blog, in the upper right corner, resources blog, you can just kind of scroll down. You start to see the different pieces about either the Spark framework or some of these blogs are written up more like a web page because they have all the prompts in them and everything. So they're detailed. Go use them. Go steal these prompts, guys. I'm trying to give them away. Our LinkedIn page or my LinkedIn page, I'm sharing carousels that have like best tips and tricks and that kind of stuff all the time. So follow me on LinkedIn. I mean, like there's a ton of ways. Just find me or Likely, and you're going to find a lot of this content because I'm trying to get it out to the agent base.
Yeah. I'm actually up on your site right now, likely.ai, and you go to resources on the tab. There's 4 tabs. It's in the almost the far right. Drop down blog playbook, start 14 free day trial. So I would go get those playbooks and do your trial, guys. This is good. You're just go do it. I mean, damn. I mean, shit.
Listen, you easier, guys.
What?
Come visit me.
I can't make it any easier. Like, giving it to you for free. We're taking risks. We want you to get the benefit from it. So let's go make something awesome together. We want to be just a guide on your journey. We're not the hero. Okay.
I know that reference from what book you're coming from on that one. Alyssa Glutz, Color My Credit. Where can people get all of your goodness on credit and mortgage and how not to be a financial screw up?
Well, they can follow me over on TikTok. In fact, I'm getting ready to go over there and everybody's yelling at me right now that I'm not over there. 11 o'clock to noon, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Come in live and questions. That's okay. I'm telling them, sorry, busy. I'm worth it. It's okay. I'm worth it. I'm just kidding.
The humility abounds.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yes. It was so
All
great. This is well worth it, though. Thanks for coming and teaching us.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate it, guys. I always enjoy it.
It has been a true pleasure to have you on again, brother. And I mean that in the literal sense. Incredible information, guys. Likely.ai. Go check them out right now. You guys are incredible human beings. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please follow Brad, Alyssa, and myself on all of our social media platforms. If you like knowledge and what we're putting out, this is just a taste. So come on over, hang out with us. It's going to get weird. I mean, Tony wants to put stripper poles in the kitchen. We don't know where we're going to go, but if we got a problem.
I'm dating computers. It's all good. Yes.
It's all good, man. But we love you guys. We will see you on the next show. Until next time, peace out, ninjas. We're gone.